I woke up this morning with my mind and it was staying on Jesus. I woke up this morning with my mind staying on the Lord. I woke up this morning with my mind saying my mind was staying on Jesus. And he was singing hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Hello, everyone, and thank you guys for joining me for Back to School with Dr. Price. My name is Richard Price, and I'm the Senior Minister of the North Green Street Church of Christ here in Tupelo. And to our congregation, to our community, which we love serving, to the world who might be tuning in, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is a Back to School Readiness informational series, and it'll be 3 days of just information, and we're going to try to exhaust getting all of the knowledge, practical knowledge, all of the spiritual encouragement we can to our parents, our students, and our membership alike so that we can help ease what has become a very challenging season for our students and parents and families. Tonight, we're going to be joined by a special guest. She's a member of this congregation. She is someone who works in the field of education, and she has many things to say that I believe are going to benefit us and help us. This is something that we've tried to do on the congregational level every year, is to prepare our students and to get an aim and focus to come out of the recess of summer break and to be prepared to go back in. And while we know that there are many different types of learners, while we know that there are different counties of people who will be tuning in, and there'll be different states for that matter, we want to take into consideration all of these things because we believe something can be said to benefit you and your student and every family in their learning plan. We are aware that in our area there are many options to learning. And by that I mean there's the online learning option where you can learn or opt to learn from home for the remainder of the semester. And then there's the in-school option for most. And while I realize that some of those options are not available to all, these are typically the two type of options we see. I have gone through what our guest has to say tonight, and I believe that everything she says is something that will benefit and bring a level of awareness to all. You know, the Bible tells us in all of our getting to get knowledge and wisdom, but get an understanding. And we need an understanding. There's so much information that comes at us on the news. There's so much we hear in the beauty shop and the barber shop that it's helpful to settle down sometimes and hear from those who are actually in the field and are on the ground level. But before we hear from Sister Randall tonight, and before I kind of introduce her to you guys, I want to just go over a few things that she suggested that I share with you that I totally agree with. And those are the essential safety measures of distancing, making sure that you avoid crowds, making sure that students, as you go back and you see your buddies and you see your friends, that you don't get in crowds because that's dangerous right now. That you make sure that you adhere to all of the safety measures that you're going to see in school, and there'll be plenty of safety measures. That you don't forget to wear your mask. I can't say that enough, because there are experts that believe that this virus is an airborne pathogen, and that is, it travels through the air, and that depending on the type of circulation system you have in your air, that it can be compromised. And so if anytime you feel uncomfortable or you can't breathe, let somebody know, and I'm sure that they will get you the help that you need immediately. So we want to keep some of these things in mind. And of course, as we've been saying for this entirety of this issue, make sure you're washing your hands, front, back, and underneath those nails as often as possible. Somebody said, I have hand sanitizer. Well, that works and it helps, but there's nothing as effective as washing your hands. I'm going to say a quick word of prayer, and then we're going to hear from Sister Randall. She works here in the education department. It's been a pleasure to work with her, and I'm glad that she has consented to join us tonight, and she has a lot of things that she wants to share tonight on successful tips for returning, successful tips for things and ways to stay involved as an active learner during this time. And so let's go to God in prayer at this time. God, thank you for this time that you have allowed it to us. We pray that we get the information that we need and that it reach the individuals it needs to reach. Please bless us and keep us together as a family, as we know you will. because you have promised to never leave us or forsake us. In Jesus' name we pray and we give thanks. And then tomorrow night, I'll be back same time, and I'll introduce a new guest, and we'll have more information for you. Again, thank you for joining us this evening. Sit back and enjoy the instruction of one of the educators of the Tupelo Public School System, and also someone that works in the education department here on campus at the North Green Street Church of Christ. And as the superintendent gave me this pen at the beginning of the COVID, one single heartbeat is our model. And here at North Green Street, we are fortifying families through the gospel of Jesus Christ. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am Ms. Randall, the media specialist at Tupelo Middle School, and I'm here to encourage our students to continue to expand your minds. Try to enhance those skills you've already learned and acquire new skills. Make sure that you are engaged in reading. Read fiction books, informational texts like newspapers and magazines, or even a history article or a history book. See if there is something that happened in history that is similar to what we're going through now, and perhaps you could be of service to your community by coming up with new ideas on how to handle some of the crisis that our nation is facing today. Also, sharpen those math skills. Make sure that you are enhancing those skills as well. You can develop your math skills with some creative ways around the house. Perhaps you could double a recipe by making sure you use conversions to increase the amount of ingredients that you use in a recipe for chocolate chip cookies. You can conduct a science experiments. There are several websites out there that have, or video websites that have, and regular websites that have science experiments that you can conduct at home. You can even do one like I did, where I created a lava lamp using oil, water, food coloring, and an Alka-Seltzer. So I created a lava lamp. And what you could do is figure out the scientific reason on why this phenomenon is happening, why this works. So, guys, make sure you're constantly enhancing your learning skills, academic skills, to make sure you are ready for the upcoming school year. And I know that my parents want you guys to be ready as well. So parents, in saying that, we are depending on you to make sure you take the students across the finish line. We know that you want to do everything in your power to make sure your students have the skills to be successful in the upcoming school year. And in saying that, I want to bring your attention to these guides. They're called A Family Guide for Student Success, and these are offered by the Mississippi Department of Education website, and they range from pre-K to 8th grade only, and they outline the skills that students need to know at each grade level. And so there have the skill the student needs to know, and they'll also show the parent what he or she needs to do in order to help. So let me give you an example here. Like, here is the skill, and then these skills are broken down into subunits. And over here on the right, this is what they're asking the parents to do. And these are for English, math, science, just different subject areas. So please, parents, take advantage of these guides to make sure you know what your students need to know at each grade level. And these are offered by the Mississippi Department of Education website. And they're on there. So all you would need to do is go to mdek12.org/learning at home. And once you're there, you just click on your particular grade level. Doesn't matter. Oh, yes, it does, because it has to be between K through 8. And these will be over here on your right, and then you can access them. Okay? So, parents, if you don't know how to address some of those skills, the Mississippi Department of Education have also provided an array of resources for you, and these are on that webpage at mdek12.org/learn at home, and you would just click on the grade level that pertain to your child, and it will give you a list of resources that are available for your child for that grade, for that particular grade level. Okay. And when I was telling you guys to learn a new skill, did you know that they provide a website on here free of charge where the kids can learn a different language? It's called Lingo Hut. So your kids can be learning a different language while they're at home. Okay? And when I was telling you guys to make sure, the parents can make sure your children gain those skills that they need to be successful in school, please take advantage of those different resources like the Scholastic Learn at Home link, where the students can learn reading, thinking, and growing skills. Like day by day, there's a project, a day by day project for to keep kids engaged in learning, thinking, and growing. And there's also the Great Minds website that's also on the Mississippi Department of Education website, and they're range from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade, and they have math, science, and language arts skills. And what I like about it, you have different teachers, experienced teachers on there who are teaching these skills.
We can label this one whole because we know it takes 6 sixths to make one whole, but we need 7 sixths, so we can add on 1 more sixth.
And I like that. Also, there's Hippocampus that has over 7,000 videos on there, instructional videos that teaches students different lessons on various topics on the different subject areas, like this one, for example, which is
teacher that likes to get you on a technicality. This is technically what mitosis is. It's the splitting of the nucleus into, or the replication of the nucleus into 2 separate nucleuses that's normally accompanied by cytokinesis.
So parents, what I appreciate about these websites, the students can learn independently. All I have to do is log on to these websites or access these websites, find the subject area in which they need the help in, and find that particular lesson that pertains to their need, and watch the instructional video from experienced teachers. There's also PBS Learning Media, and there's also information on here from pre-K all the way up to 12th grade, and there are different subject areas like science, math, English language arts, and social studies. And there's a lesson over here for the students to participate or take part in. And you don't have to do a thing, but just make sure they have access to it. Some of the teachers may have already added these to their Google Classroom. Okay? And I told you guys that these websites can be accessed through the Mississippi Department of Education website, but we also have some on our Haiku page, and the teachers provide resources on their Haiku page or Google Classroom, and the media specialists, they do this also. I know that Tupelo Middle School librarian, we place ours on Haiku as well as a Google site, because we realize that some of our students cannot access Haiku sometimes for whatever reason. Therefore, we created a Google account that allowed them to access some of the same websites from there. And two, if you have students from different schools, they may not be able to access our Haiku page unless they had a student, unless the parent couldn't access our page unless they had a student there. So this allows you to share the information, and you can share it with students who are not in the school district. So you may have a cousin or some relatives in Lee County schools and or Oxford schools, and you can share some of these same websites there. Let me show you our Haiku page. Well, let me show you from the beginning. So once you're on, you log in period, it would take you to this welcome page, and then you will just need to click on teachers and student resources, and here's the Mississippi Department of Education website link. And if this is our Google site, but before I take you to our Google site, I'm going to show you what we have on our page, but for time's sake, I'm going to increase the screen here so you can have a moment to write down our alternate site, which is the Google site. It is https://md. No, so sorry. It is https://sites sites.google.com/a/TupeloSchools.com/TPSD focus group. Okay. And if you need the MDE website, that's it as well. Okay, so let me show you what we have on our student page here. For our readers who need access to books and you can't get out to the public library, don't fret. I have links to free books, online PDF and online reading, free of charge. Some may allow you to check out 10 books or what have you, like this one, for example. That's one of the freebies. Minibooks.net, free of charge. Okay, and there's this Hippocampus that I spoke about earlier, but there's also softschools.com, learning games for kids, Kids Citizens, MathTV.com. There are abundance, and one of my favorite is BrainPop. Now this was provided by the Mississippi Department of Education actually, and I just went ahead and took the liberty of putting that information on our Haiku page. If you guys don't know about BrainPop, BrainPop is wonderful. It has instructional videos, worksheets, and games already on there. So the kids watch the instructional video and it's fun because it's animated. Let me give you a brief look. And here's an example.
CF a million more times? Thanks, Savannah. Organs. In our lungs, it captures unhealthy stuff like germs and bacteria. When we cough it up, out go those harmful microbes. Mucus is usually super slick and slippery. In people with cystic fibrosis, it's much thicker, almost like glue. The stickier mucus clogs airway.
Okay, so after the students get a chance to watch the video, they can go over here and take a quiz. And there's one that's not graded, which is their review, and then there's a graded one, so you can test your kids' knowledge. So that's Brain Pop is wonderful, and I love it. There's one in a Spanish version. There are different languages on there. So I know it's Spanish and French, and there's one from kindergarten or pre-K up to 2nd or 3rd grade, and then the Brain Pop is just for 4th grade and up. So please, by all means, check that out. And we also have access to the World Book online resources. So please check out our haiku page. And parents, we haven't left you out. It's from our teachers too. If someone wants to read, to see what the teachers have on the teachers page, to see what they have available. So if your teacher have posted some information on for a grade for you guys to do, you can come to the teacher resource page if they tell you that information is posted on here to help you with that particular assignment. And one more thing I would like to show you guys. Parents, also on this haiku page, and students too, we have the newspaper, so you can click on there and read papers in Mississippi, pretty much anywhere. Here's the Daily Journal. And you can read articles from the Daily Journal. Okay? So please take advantage of our haiku page. And like I said, the students should have access to it, and your parents, you should have accounts as well. If not, don't fret. I'm going to show you where you can access the majority of these websites. And that's on our alternate site. And this is the way it's set up. And there are various resources for you guys here too. So that pretty much wraps it up. You can tell I'm getting tired. So you guys have a great time at home, but make sure you are expanding your minds. I'm signing off. This is Miss Randall.